So we're going to move over to some unit presentations shortly, but I just wanted to just bring Georgie into the conversation now, because Georgie's leading DAYLife. She's obviously part of Home Therapies. Just to give you a quick update about what's happening with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good. Hi, everyone. Have you got my notes here so you don't forget to mention anything? We're all aware that there's huge variation in the country in terms of home therapies. And the aim of DAYLife is to work nationally to try and reduce that variation. We're a partnership between the UKKA, Kidney Care UK and Fresenius Medical. So things that we're wanting to do this year is around creating resources, having events and creating a learn and share network. We held a patient event in March that had 33 patients attend, and that really looked at the barriers and challenges to home therapy, very much from a patient perspective. We then held a leadership event in June, and that explored the barriers and challenges of home dialysis from a care delivery perspective. And there's about 60 people that attended that. And they all came out with a number of recommendations. So you've got 2 fab reports that I'm happy to send on to you, and we'll do a big campaign around those in the next couple of months. What the key things that both the patients and the leaders talked about was around peer support, shared care, psychosocial and education and shared decision making. So what we're hoping to do in the next couple of months is establish some working groups that can really kind of work within that theme and drive forward a number of projects and programmes that we can then kind of share nationally. We're having a webinar on this Thursday on shared care. And that's at 2 till 4. So that's a really good opportunity for kind of networking, learning and exploring what different sites across the country are doing with regards to shared care. And then following on from that webinar, we're hoping to establish this working group. We're then hoping to have a peer support webinar in November or December or early December, and again we're hoping to create a working group from that can really drive forward some of the recommendations, and then we'll focus on education and shared decision making in the new year, and then psychosocial in the new year. We're then hoping to have a home therapy summit at some point in March, April, to really kind of share the learning nationally and to share the work of the 4 working groups. I was going to say something else then, and what was it? Oh, and then what we're also trying to do is there's a service specification that's being developed at the moment, and what we're trying to do is influence that service specification with the recommendations that have come out of the patient and the leadership report as well. We're also engaging at the RSTP level as well. So although they're not going to kind of sponsor any of the work streams, they're happy to host this kind of national summit with us in the springtime. So that's just kind of a bit of a whistle-stop tour, high-level view of what we're doing with DAYLife. I'm happy to kind of have a one-to-one conversation with anybody if anyone wants to discuss anything or be part of any of the work. We really want to work with as many people as possible to really kind of develop the programme of work in collaboration with you all. So please do get in touch if you have any interest or enthusiasm to do that. You can kind of contribute at an individual level or a unit level or a regional level. We do very much just want to work with as many people as possible. I'll post the link from the shared care webinar, the registration form, into the chat box. So if anyone's interested in attending that on Thursday, then they'll be welcome to do so. I think we've got about 115 people who are attending that, and we're hosting that in partnership with Tanya Barnes, who runs the Share Care programme nationally. So I'll pop that in the chat box now, and I'll pop my email in as well. So if you've got any questions or want to talk about it in any detail, or I'll happily set up a meeting at a convenient time.
Thanks, Georgie.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's great. So I think some of you might be attending that webinar And this is kind of a national thing, so we've got different regions coming along and sharing and learning, so it's a really useful area to sort of be involved in. But Amy's on the call as well, and Amy, you joined the patient group, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts about that you want to share with your region?
God, it was a long time ago, wasn't it? It was March, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was March.
God, what happened in that time?
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, yeah. God, a lot has happened in that time, crumbs. Yeah, I think obviously it was mentioned of all the different groups, and like the main one for me was the peer support. So I have never really had any peer support at all during my whole dialysis journey. Obviously everyone knows that obviously my twin sister went through it, and that was my peer support. But for other people that haven't got the twin sister that's already had a transplant, they need that support the whole way through their journey, because it is difficult. And also the psychotherapy. I've never had anything to do with psychotherapy. And I think that's a big issue that does need to be raised. And even though I did have a transplant 3 weeks ago, I still haven't had anything. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm glad to hear that. But
yeah, I know. But I still haven't had any psychotherapy or anyone talk to me about anything like that. So I think that's a massive thing that also needs to be raised.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really helpful to get your perspective on that, to share your experience. Ali?
Yeah, I just wanted to say from a network perspective, Mickey's in the process of, we're running a project looking at psychosocial support and the gaps in psychological support in the region in particular. And we're looking at reaching out to TalkWorks in every region and setting up availability for having somebody in every dialysis unit for a set day a week, not just for dialysis patients, but for pre-patients, etc. That patients can self-refer, nurses can refer to. So that's a massive project Mickey's working on at the minute. And the other thing that we are also working with is our patient voice group. We're looking at peer support groups being set up and funding a peer supporter. So so the sort of things grumbling around in the background, but yeah, as a network, we've got that on our list of to-dos that we're working on.
That's great. Let's watch this space then. But it's really valuable, I think, Amy, just sharing that, because I think it just needs to be keep repeated from a patient's perspective. And this is definitely the sort of platform to do that. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. And thanks, Georgie. Okay.